just like with most of my moves and attacks, I tend to have a root finish that I'm always trying to go after first. That's in my brain, so I'm not having to make choices when I'm going in. When I attack my single, my first task, because I'm trying to get my opponent's weight over this foot, and indeed if I can, having his weight to the outside, my first finish or my first goal, my root finish, is going to be a knee tap. First we're going to go in this position and I'll talk about it slowly, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how it's going to be more likely right after you've attacked the single. So it'll go from the setup to the single to the finish. But for now, we're going to break it up a little bit. If I'm in this position here, I first need to make sure Colby's weight is over the foot or to the outside. This is not a technique I would try if his weight is inside. And I'm exaggerating the position to make the point here. But it's crucial that I can get his weight over that foot directly, or even more favorably, slightly to the outside, before I'm going to attack this type of finish. Now, what I'm going to do to start out with, and we're going to say we're at this root position where Colby has stopped me. I'm in my tight position here. My weight, I keep the weight down, which is going to be crucial for this type of finish. I first need to get this leg out, and I'm going to do that by stepping back with my rear foot and stepping slightly forward with my front foot to here. Now, I want you to notice something. One, my level is fairly low. I'm not up high. My level is low. There's a lot of contact, head, shoulder, and I want you to notice my shoulder. Even though I've lifted this up, my shoulder is pushing down here. My shoulder is pushing down here. This is lifted up. I'm lifting his knee up, but my shoulder is driving down here. Why? Because if I only lift his knee up and I try to tap him, try to block his knee, because there won't be much weight on this leg because I'm lifting this one up, it'll be easy for him to get that unfavorable angle for me and be able to have a post into me and make it difficult for me to finish. So as I switch from here, this shoulder is driving down, pushing down on that leg to keep the weight on that supporting leg. Even though this part here is around behind his knee and is lifting up. And that's a very crucial point. I step, lift, and tap at the same time to here. From this position, and most people get fouled up in here because they try to pull the leg through and they're getting it caught up in the rear leg here. And you've just got to simply switch quick. I'm in here. This comes back, and this comes forward. And so it gets pulled out to the side. My level is low. I lift the knee up. My shoulder is down. I'm tapping at the knee. There's a lot of contact from my head to my shoulder along his side and hip. Again, I'm in this position. The weight is down. It's not neutral. The weight's down to this position here. Now, that being said, and while I'm breaking this up, it's crucial that this move is all done at once. And once I get to this position here, I conceptualize Colby as like a sack of potatoes or a sack of rice on my shoulder. I'm going to chop, and I'm going to try to bump him forward as I post and keep this leg still so that I'm going to throw him over the knee that I have blocked. So I'm not just going to kind of try to run him over. I'm really going to try to shuck him over with my shoulder. Try to shuck him over with my shoulder. So I'm in this position here. I first make sure I manipulate the weight properly. I keep the weight down. And I see that that position is favorable now. And I drive through. So I'm in this position, keeping the weight down. I'm not sagging like this, just sagging, keeping my hips down, My head is in. I notice there's like a lot of weight here. Weight is over the foot or slightly to the outside, not here. First I got to push it over and manipulate it before I can get this type of an attack here. What I'm going to do is make one quick switch and then throw. Now I'm going to demonstrate from the single leg, and really this is where this finish comes from. This is not the most efficient type of finish, I think, from a static position if you're stuck down here. I think there's some other things to do that are probably a little bit more efficient. It works, but you got to make sure that the weight is down heavy so that he can't pull his leg out when I attack, and I also need to make sure that his weight is over this foot or slightly to the outside and not in this direction. If it's here to where his weight is inside, I simply have to keep the weight down, kind of inch in a little bit, and manipulate that position. And so I can come through. Again, that being said, this finish really comes off the single in one motion. And why that's important is because I've already got momentum, and it's going to make it a lot easier. So I'll do this slowly at first. I attack a single on Colby. As I'm coming in, I switch, and I come straight through. So it's all one movement. The trick here, at least for people that are learning this type of movement, because I'm stepping with this foot to attack the single, then I'm coming forward. I then have to pull my opponent's leg out to the side and sort of skip in to tap his knee. And that being said too, one fine point or one important thing I think with this type of technique is I don't want to pull his leg out and be reaching far here. It's critical that I can get in low and close. So when I switch, when I pull this leg out, I also want to get close to the leg, so I'm having a short grab here, not a long one. You'll be less likely to be successful if you approach it that way. When I come through, I want to be close to the leg. My weight is low, and I've skipped in. And you'll see this flows very well from the single leg as I attack that head outside high single. The thing that you need to be aware of and that you need to probably work on if this is a new technique to you is being able to transition the leg out so you don't get it hung up between your own leg. And again, that just takes a little bit of practice. I pull the leg out as my leg goes back. So, in reviewing that basic type of finish, I think that it's crucial as you attack the single. It's all one movement and one momentum from the time that I've attacked the single, shifted my opponent's weight to this far leg, and then I'm just pulling his leg out, transitioning, and tapping the knee. It's all one movement as opposed to single, stop, adjust, go. It's all one movement instead.